welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated to CBS's Big Brother Season 22 All-Stars. Now, I'm going to be starting off with what happened in the most recent episode of Big Brother, and then I'm going to give a hand signal going into live feed updates. So let's start off where last episode left off, and that was Tyler nominating both Janelle and Kaysar up on the block. Now we move on to Devon going over and talking to Tyler and trying to solidify the Slick Six alliance because it was newly formed not too long ago, and then Tyler got HOH, and she is worried that if Janelle is going to be the POV comp beast that she is and pull out this win, she doesn't want her name floating around there as a possible renom. And then she goes over and talks to Janelle and Kaysar and smooth things over there because if one of them stays and wins HOH, she doesn't want to be a target for them or even being close to being put on the block, which I can say is a really good strategy on both ends. Then we move into Janelle talking to Bailey, and Bailey agrees that if Janelle were to pull out house guest choice, that she could pick her and that she will go and play to win. She didn't say that she was going to actually win the veto and use it on Janelle, but she says, hey, if you pick it, you can pick me. Then we go into Danny talking to Nicole, and we get a montage of Danny making alliances and talking smack about everybody in the house to every different person. So we have her talking to Nicole, we have her talking to Enzo about Enzo and saying if Enzo is going to keep on winning comps, we have to get him out sooner rather than later. She says the same thing about Memphis, Devon, Bailey, Tyler. And what this montage really signifies to me is that Danny feels comfortable with Nicole and Cody, and that's pretty much it. She will make alliances with you, but she really does not care a thing about you. She may not do it herself, but she'll just let everybody else do her dirty work. And the episode didn't show, but she has been taking a lot of personal jabs at a lot of people throughout the season. It's not the cleanest game. It's pretty messy, in my opinion. Then we move into a fun segment where Janelle is doing a vampire facial, putting blood on her face. And then we get Ian giving everybody a lesson in the pH scale. Now let's move into the veto ceremony where we are going to pick the veto players. Tyler pulls the first name and it's Cody. Probably couldn't work better for him unless he got house guest choice and then he picked Cody, but then that would probably show off that they're actually in an alliance together. Then Kaysar picks Bailey and Janelle picks Memphis. We move to the backyard to play this week's veto competition called Cupcake Clash, where there is a 3 cupcake puzzle where you're going to have to rearrange these cupcake puzzle pieces and have to match them to their base, and you can only move one puzzle piece at a time and you can't put anything on the ground. You will be going head to head against somebody, and the quickest person in each round will move on to the next round, and the player that does it the quickest is the ultimate cupcake winner and the veto winner. So Christmas picks out the names, and the matchups are in round 1, we have Kaysar versus Tyler, Bailey versus Cody, and Janelle versus Memphis. Now in round 1, Kaysar knows he has to go quickly because Tyler is a really strong person in competition. So he knows he has to go quick and he has to be efficient. He gets all of his cupcake pieces in a row except for they're not matching their bases. So that is a costly mistake to him as Tyler beasts out this competition in 39 seconds, winning it and eliminating Kaysar from possibly even a chance at winning veto. Then we move on to Bailey versus Cody, and Bailey gets slightly disoriented when trying to figure out where to put her cupcake puzzle pieces, and Cody is like the cake boss himself and is able to finish up this puzzle, hits the buzzer, and wins, moving on to the next round. And then we have Janelle versus Memphis, where Memphis at one point has his yellow cupcake completely done, and then he messes it up on purpose, and everybody is convinced that he is throwing this competition to Janelle, when in all actuality, I think it's because Memphis is a big dumb dummy. But either way, he was able to pull out this win, whether he was trying to throw it or not. He pulls out this win in round 1, eliminating Janelle, and now it doesn't matter who wins between Memphis, Cody, and Tyler, as they're all part of this unusual suspects, the committee, whatever they're calling their 6-person alliance, whatever. So Tyler was the quickest out of the first round, so he gets to go automatically to the championship round, and it is going to be Memphis versus Cody. Cody is able to win against Memphis easily, and then in the last round, it was Cody versus Tyler, and Cody won against Tyler easily, so Cody is the holder of the power of veto. He is not going to use this thing whatsoever. He wants Janelle or Kaysar out of this house this week, and there was no possibility of him going to use it on either one of them. I don't care what Big Brother was trying to peddle out on this episode, whether Memphis is shady or sketchy to them, or if Janelle makes the best deal ever for Cody. He was never going to use it. We move on to a last bit of news, which is Christmas's punishment, because Enzo picked her to be his +1 in the safety suite. She is in this BB All-Stars born where she has to take care of a star pillow, and it's like she has to feed it, she has to change it, she has to play with it, she has to show it off to people of how cute it is, take it for walks in the middle of the night. Then Big Brother kept on just dumping star pillows on her. And on the live feeds, it took her a while to get her punishment for the +1, and they kept on telling her that, oh, it is tailor-made for you, that it's something that surrounds you in your personal life. And in my opinion, I thought, oh, it must be something to do with exercise. Maybe it's like a Big Brother All-Stars exercise routine where she tries to get people to do it, or she has to do it over and over again in the middle of the night, trying to get people to do it. Kind of like how Ian's was, where he had to do like different scenes and try to get people involved, people to watch him. No, they just decided to say, hey, Christmas, you're a newly mother, so you're gonna be doing mother duties, which is kind of a letdown. I guess it didn't play well on the feeds because we only got it in the last 10 minutes and it wasn't a big part of this episode whatsoever. Let's move on to the veto ceremony where Cody, does not use the power of veto. And it leaves Janelle and Kaysar on the block, and one of them will be evicted week 3 of this game. Who do you think is going to leave this house? Let me know that in the comment section below. What do you think about this episode? What do you think about Cody winning veto? And what do you think about Danny's game? Let me know that in the comment section below. Now we're moving on to the live feed updates. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. After the veto ceremony and Cody not using it, this house has been very, very quiet for the most part of this week, because I'm 95% sure that Janelle is leaving. Everybody's pretty much on board with voting her out, despite her campaigning, making deals with people, trying to get a way to keep herself in, but she's also happy that Kaysar gets to stay if that's the case. And everybody's pretty much saying that, yeah, you're going to be the one evicted and Kaysar is going to stay in this house. And there have been talks around the house where Christmas was talking to Tyler along the same conversation lines as Memphis talking to Danny about wanting to put up Davon and Bailey on the block together, that if one of them were to win veto, they couldn't just save the other one. And they see them as a duo and they want to take them out of this house. Speaking of Bailey, Kaysar and Janelle were talking to Bailey not too long ago, and Kaysar was like, hey, if I get HOH, I'm going to put up Danny and Nicole and try to cause some chaos in the house, taking shots on the other side of the house that pitted me up on the block between me and Janelle. Then, like a night or two ago, we got a little spice in the house when David went over to Davon and Bailey and said that he heard that Davon was trying to campaign for Nicole A to stay last week and for David to be evicted. Davon is flabbergasted by hearing this because that was definitely not the case. We saw in the episode that, yeah, she got upset and frustrated with David for telling her to calm down and to stop campaigning for him to stay. And she got a little frustrated by it, but she was always having David's back throughout that whole week. And David then name drops that, oh, Tyler and Cody told me that. Then later that night, he goes up to the HOH bedroom and said that he told Davon what they had told him, and then that he said that he name dropped both Tyler and Cody. So now Davon is spending the day fact checking everything, talking to Tyler and Cody separately, trying to see if she gets the same story from both people. And that's what leads to Cody and Tyler talking together, and they're talking about how they can't trust David. Tyler is worried that all the goodwill between Davon and him are now squashed and they're going back to like square one with each other, that they can't trust each other. And Cody says that he really wants to put up David on the block because now he has a reason to, and he feels disrespected by Devon for talking to both Cody and Tyler separately. That Cody feels as though that, hey, we're in this alliance together, which you're in 50 different alliances, but we're in this alliance together, and you didn't just like bring us into a room together and talk it out like you don't trust us or something. She has a right to not trust you, and to like hear that you're spreading something like that around. They try to squash the beef. They're trying to put out the flames. They're trying to do damage control. It seems as though that everybody is even keel. I mean, there's nothing they can do at this point. What it ultimately leads into is that this next HOH is going to be imperative. Whoever is going to win it, this is going to pretty much decide a lot of what's going to happen this week and ultimately what's going to lead into the rest of the game. So right now, you want Kaysar to get it, or Devon, or Bailey, because if they don't get it, they could be the ones possibly put up on the block. That if, say, Cody wins it again, he's going to put up Kaysar and maybe Devon or David. It's up in the air at this point. We don't know what's going to happen, and we don't know what's going to happen now that there's no more safety suite. Maybe there's going to be another twist thrown at us. We have to wait and see. But that is it for this video. What do you think about everything that's going on? Let me know that in the comments section below. Who do you think is actually going to leave the house? Do you think Janelle is definitely going to leave the house tonight? Let me know that in the comments section below. Who are you rooting for to win HOH this week? And who are you hoping is going to be the main target? Let me know that in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more Big Brother content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.